Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome to AIDON Archives Live. It's been a while since we've been together, but yeah, it's good to be back. Really exciting month. So today we're going to be doing a four producers, one sample challenge. Um, Man, this was a tough one. This wasn't easy. We gone hard techno, um, something that doesn't come naturally to anyone that was involved with the challenge, and yeah, I'm just super stoked to see what happened and see what everyone's creative capabilities has allowed them to come up with. Um, so yeah, it's going to be a really interesting stream for anyone who is wanting to just really get to learn a bit more, understand some creative processes. This is a stream for you. This is My goal is really just to have a podcast that I stream. So this is really, I try to do everything with a purpose, something behind everything that I do, and yeah. With any further ado, I think that we should probably get started. Join the guys on the channel and see what happens. Oh, good evening, gentlemen.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like I just said now in the opening of the stream, basically, my whole concept behind this thing is that it's a podcast that I stream. So basically the whole premise around this is really just creating, um, obviously with music at the in the center of everything, just bringing together like-minded people and really just having a community where we can just share ideas in a space where there's no judgment and there's no sort of it's just really purely about the music, and I think with this challenge, there's two reasons why I'm really excited for it. Obviously, for all the people watching the stream already, and for all the people that will be watching the stream later on with the recording, um, we are we were joined by the usual suspects, Mr. Scotty and Mr. Dino over there. Um,
Hello.
they were part of the last challenge and really came up with some really awesome Afro house vibes for the last challenge. So of course we had to have them back, and yeah, it's going to be really cool to see what they've come up with on this hard techno challenge. And then secondly, yeah, importantly, we've got a newcomer to the group this month. Really excited. He's an old friend of mine. We go back quite a long way, and yeah, we've got Francois joining us, aka Reeples.
Oh, man.
He is a very talented musician from Johannesburg, and he, amongst other things, is currently one of the co-founders of a very important drum and bass institution in Johannesburg called Church. From my personal understanding, or just from what I've known, having been part of the drum and bass scene growing up in Johannesburg. I mean, I'm sure Dean and Scotty will attest to that. We were at every drum and bass party we possibly could go to back in the day, and I think that what you have done with Church has really just kept that flame alive for drum and bass in South Africa. And not only that, you guys are pushing it forward, and some of the releases that you guys have been doing is just really incredible. So if you could just, yeah, man, just let us know what's happening in your life, how's things been going, what's new, yeah, just give us a little background about Church and what you guys are up to at the moment.
Thanks, dude. That's really amazing for you to say, man. Uh, Pretty hectic. Coronavirus. Being a musician's been hard, but the last kind of little bits that's been coming together, we've started to put out quite a lot of music on a record label for Church, which is cool. So it's just Church recordings on Beatport or Spotify or iTunes or whatever you're into for the time being. A couple of tunes from me, and then some cool tunes from our party's MC, Tom, Son of Dad, who's a really great lyricist and a really great hip hop producer. So some cool music coming from him, and then other dudes from the scene, which is very cool. Aside from that, doing loads of parties. Actually, I have a church party this weekend on Good Friday, I believe.
Oh,
So that's pretty cool.
Amazing.
So very cool and very excited for that. And then yeah, just carrying on being a human being. It's pretty cool.
Sounds amazing, bro. Yeah, it's really cool to see what you guys have been doing. And on that note, what I would like to just do quickly is just so everyone has an idea of just how talented, well, personally, I think you are as a musician, as a producer. I'm just gonna quickly play a track of yours called "Behold." Um, yeah, I think this is a banging track. So I'm gonna mute my mic. I'm just gonna share the application in Discord with you, and then um, you guys can just join in over there. Just want to okay, Windows Media Player. Let's do this. Okay, let me know when you guys are in. I'll mute up, and then we just take a couple minutes to appreciate this.
Ready. Yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
Cool. Let me know if you guys can hear.
Yeah.
Thought I'd put some cool lyrics with it on the stream.
Cool.
Sick.
Dude, come on. I'm sorry, but let's just take a second to admire that track, man. That is filthy.
Thanks.
Lemons the whole
Nice.
song, man.
Wow, dude. Wow, that's incredible, man. That's like I said, and that's just, and I guess that's just part and parcel of the guys that are holding the flame for drum and bass in South Africa. You know, it's really, oh man, it's inspiring.
And you know what? The craziest thing is drum and bass in South Africa is, while it's such a small scene that is so advanced internationally, we actually, there's a girl from our scene called Stacy, and she actually just put out her first release on Hospital Records and
That's amazing.
is about to play on a lineup with Cameron Crooked and Netsky and Spy, like guys with 20-year discographies for drum and bass of beatport bangers, and she's up there with those. So it's just like an example. Like drum and bass is at a really advanced stage in South Africa, which is such a fascinating place to be.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, that's obviously something that I've experienced. You know, having grown up in South Africa, being part of the scene in both Joburg and Cape Town, and then you move to somewhere like Europe. You know, at the end of the day, the scene is very, very advanced in South Africa. The numbers just aren't there to
Exactly.
really gain enough traction. And I guess one of the bigger problems has also been the fact that touring down to South Africa is really hard for international DJs, because it's not like they can put together a European tour the same way they could maybe put together a South African tour. You know, it's just
Yeah.
not, and it's, you know, so it's I guess it's sort of in a way isolated the South African scene, but somehow the scene has still really stayed ahead of the curve, and it's really, you know, it's always been a very, very rich part of the South African culture, which I think is really cool. You know, so yeah, I mean, it's really cool, and it's, yeah, keep doing what you're doing, bro. It's really awesome.
Thanks, man.
So yeah, let's jump into the crux of the stream. Obviously, this week was Scotty's uh, sample challenge.
I'm
It was look. I think I can speak for all of us, but yeah, I think it was quite a challenging one.
Hard.
It was hard, you know. It wasn't the easiest thing.
Sorry.
You know, so yes, I mean, look, I was totally out of my comfort zone, but I loved every second of it. As yeah,
Challenges breeds creativity.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, basically, what we're gonna do is I am just going to I'm gonna play the sample quickly for everyone to hear. And then from there, Scotty, seeing as you chose the sample, I think we'll give you the floor, and it'll be up to you to start the proceedings this evening. You know, sort of wet the earlobes and the eardrums, so that when it gets down to it, we
Okay. And also went last time, I suppose.
yeah.
That should go first this time.
Yeah, so let me, so I'm just, my PC is a little bit slow in our stream. So here's your sample. If everyone on the stream can hear.
Well, I made that myself. Because I don't know, I was going through like a bunch of different synths and stuff on Serum, and nothing really grabbed my attention. So I was like, you know what's classic piano? So let's go, and I just threw a little EQ and some reverb on it and try to make a weird line, and there you go. Obviously, I must say I did not have hard techno in mind when I made this, just so that we obviously not particularly suited to the genre. I mean, maybe, who knows?
Yeah,
So obviously, like you said, not a genre that I ever listen to. Even normal techno is like a bit heavy for me.
cool. Well,
Tried my best to listen to a couple tracks and like sort of boil down the basic elements of it and made the thing.
awesome, bro. Awesome.
And try to like use the sample in interesting ways, which I don't know if I'd managed to do, but we'll see. All right. Just let me know. Can you hear this? Okay, perfect. Everybody else, we good? We good?
I
All right, let's get it.
Yeah, let's go.
How could you be worthy? You're all killers. I'm sorry, I was asleep. Or I was a dream. And I was tangled in strings. How is humanity saved if it's not allowed to evolve? There's only one path to peace. Extinction. That was dramatic.
Right, it was mental. Someone that didn't listen to any hard techno before. I love that.
was
Yeah.
sick.
Oh, thanks, guys. So yeah, I think the main thing I sort of wanted to get right was that sort of very kicky, subby kind of thing, you know, that most,
Yeah, yeah,
like that's basically a lot of what all hard techno is just kick and the sub, which is actually I came across this, which is one of the main effects I used in this, because this it wasn't like sidechaining or anything like that. This is the what would be the sidechain. It was a filter delay, I think I was using.
That's a great plugin, dude.
This one over here. So yeah, instead of like side chaining a bass or something like that, I actually took the kick, which is this. It's these two kicks put together and EQ'd. It's very like fat and juicy, yum yum yum. And then I filter delayed them basically, and this is what happened, which is a very happy accident.
yeah. That's a very interesting take on the classic techno rumble bass.
Yeah. Sorry, that's the
Yeah.
rumble. That's
The rumble bass technique. Yeah, where yeah,
So it gives it like a lot of nice movement, but it's also not really mono because the filter delays are panned in like all sorts of different directions and they're going off at different times and stuff like that. So if you look here on this one, one's panned to the left, one's panned to the right, and all sorts of crazy stuff's going on. Which, yeah, that was the main sort of driving force behind the song. And then the sample I just kind of used as an intro initially, and like as it was going on, it was getting like sort of more corrupted, which I thought fit nicely with the vocals. So if you listen, like, then I was adding like so I was basically just adding a whole bunch of shit on it
nice.
to make it super weird.
No, it was cool. I really liked what you did.
Yeah,
And then after that, obviously I wanted to try and use it a bit more creatively, so I was using it as color within the actual groove itself. So there was like a weird bassy kind of sounding thing, which I just thought sounded really cool.
That is
like
fucking nice.
And then this like nice sort of creepy melodic that I reversed because that's a favorite. Obviously,
Yeah, that was cool.
thought it sounded really cool. And then just because I wanted to get a little crazy, I took, and I don't know if it worked at all. I just wanted to use it. This bit, kind of ambience, but basically what I did was I detuned one of the tracks, but I warped it so that it stretched out the audio, and then I retuned it up, but I warped it so that it kept its length, and it just sounded really weird. And I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. Let's see. Oh, this one, sorry.
Ooh.
So yeah, so this is like weird, creepy mess.
That's creativity right there. That is using the sample 10 out of 10. Wow.
Yeah, so that was just color in the midsection, and then probably the last sort of interesting thing was, you know me, I've always got to add real instruments or sounds and stuff. So I recorded some of my bass guitar, and I just also used a buttload of effects and came up with like little weird things in the background like this. Oh, sorry, wrong one. So it's like weird. You probably wouldn't hear them in the like context of the song, but it does add a little bit. And
Ambiance.
then yeah, these ones were like little pick slides that I did.
Okay.
Another one.
Scotty, can I ask a question there?
Yeah, sure.
So the bass guitar, a lot of it you suck out a lot of the like mid frequencies. Is that like something you've knee-jerk done as like a that's what you've seen people do, or is that like something you've experienced as a bass player?
No, well, like I'm not really playing a bass line, so this is definitely not how I'd EQ a bass if I'm playing it. I was just basically my philosophy was this: I wanted to make it sound as weird and dark as possible, so there'd be like weird sound effects in the background. So the EQ is just like random. I think there was a bit too much in the high tops here. Like you can see, I sucked it out a little bit. That just like was muddying up the sound a little bit. And then this one, this was also sitting in the background, which I thought sounded pretty cool. But I had to suck out so much from the top end if you listen now.
But the saturated does some cool stuff there.
Yeah.
Effects, because you like suck out the unnatural kind of tittiness, but you put like a very satisfactory, smooth tone back with the
Yeah.
saturated. It's
So
awesome.
like it was like a super heavy saturated tone because I already put distortion on the bass, and that was literally just a harmonic that I played. So it just like
Cool.
feeds like almost infinitely, and then gives
It
you
was
this like weird sort of creepy.
Yeah, super cinematic, dude. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
And
cool.
then the saturator, what it also did was this bit at the end, which I thought was like a nice, like different to a riser, but same sort of effect just before the second drop, which is just a pick slide, and then I like amp the saturator up, and it sort of just also rings out quite nicely. Yeah.
That's some dark stuff.
Yep.
that's some Mars. Like if they were on Mars, they'd be listening to that, bro.
Yeah, it almost sounds like it's like going down a well.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So yeah, that was
awesome, man. Nice. Well, I think for someone who hasn't made a hard techno track before, I think you did a really splendid job there.
Thank you.
Nice.
Awesome. Okay, Dino, you want to take it away, or?
You guys can go. It's fine.
Okay. Okay. Let's so let's do repulse. Just seeing as we it's just a slight technical difficulty. I don't know if you still want to just share your screen and then what we could, yeah. There we go. Nice. Yes, there's a lot of elements to this. Okay.
So we'll have to listen on your stream, eh?
Yeah, or what we can do is maybe what we can do is actually I can share. I'll just share my my media player quickly. We'll listen through the track, and then yeah, you can just yeah. I mean, obviously it'll be a little bit difficult in terms of like you being able to play individual sounds, but you can still show us the main the main elements and some cool things that you did with it. I think that'll be cool. Right. Let me just open up. Okay. So maybe we just close Repo's stream. Okay, and I'm just going to share up Windows Media Player. Let me know when you guys are in.
Yeah.
Gereed.
Okay, let's do this.
Uh-oh.
AIDON, you minimized.
Yeah.
You minimized.
Yeah, it's playing to Discord. There you go.
Oofa boofa.
So
Nice,
crisp.
That was power. It was so many small little intricate sounds.
Mm.
Very power. Very power.
Do you know what? I spent like 4 hours working on this today after I spent a couple hours working on it the other day.
Yeah.
And for that entire 4 hours, I was convinced that I was making techno. But sitting here and listening now, I realized I made psytrance. So I kind of cheated.
No ways. Look, that's the whole thing about about hard techno, bro. It's actually quite a diverse genre. It's more about the energy. You know what I mean?
It's like that main room, that midnight main room thing, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So no, I think it was power, bro. And yeah, like I said, those small sounds are just very well placed and good driving energy as well, and a lot of the dirt that you would expect out of a hard techno track, Um,
Interesting. Lots of the same. Lots of the sound design is definitely just drum and bass sound design, and then what you realize is that if you kind of get into that kind of mindset, aggressive electronic music is so cool because it's like all actually the same thing, just with tiny differences in
yeah, of course.
song structure and shit like that. Interesting.
Obviously, it'll be a little bit difficult in terms of trying to like solo certain sounds and stuff. But maybe you can just take us through from if you have it playing on your side, you can still just show us some cool techniques maybe that from, even if it's from your drum and bass stuff. Anything at the end of the day, I want this whole thing is about learning. So if anyone comes onto the stream, it's learn one or two cool things, and then that's what it's really about.
Okay, cool. Are you guys all using Ableton?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did like a couple little tricks that I learned recently. The glue compressor, this guy did. If you set this to soft clip and you put it on your master, what you can do is you can create a more natural sounding version of this limiter over here. So this limiter I always used to put on for like on my masters to make it sound really loud. But what I realized is as you start to push into here, your music starts to form weird stuff around it. But this thing makes it super, it gives it that dirt and makes it super creamy. So that's something, and I actually kind of go crazy with it, dude. If you look at this, I give it like a 0 dB in the build up, and then when the song is supposed to drop, I like push it by 3 dBs. I think I do it another 2 dBs here. So it's a very interesting limiter that you can use. Also, yeah, that's like an easy one.
Awesome.
The other one, little stuff like with drops and stuff, doing like EQ curves with your filter that go like this, and then when it drops, it comes down. Stuff that gives like I always really struggled with music to make my songs be able to be played next to other people's songs, DJ sets, and I found like this trick with the glue compressor and this auto filter, where the auto filter just automates a little bit up and then drops, it turns off, and it gives people it triggers the subs that you don't hear when you're at home or in a studio, because it's not like it's a nightclub sound system, obviously. So that's what makes it hard for people to what makes it hard to play your own tunes and DJ sets. So that's an interesting
Oh,
one.
that's really cool. Actually, I haven't thought about that before.
In terms of the sample, so these are the guys here. It was a lot of this. Hey, I basically took one or two notes. I think it was a C and a D. Check on the tuner. So it was a C and a D that I transposed to an F. I don't know. F minor just makes me feel good, so I tend to compose a lot of music in F. So that is that, and then it's going through a bunch of spectral resonators, cool and live 9, and then with the auto filter here on 360 points. So just to give it movement, baseline stuff. Very simple. There's like a sub that kind of looks like this, with quite a bit of processing, but nothing particularly special. And then, yeah, something that I got into recently, which really helped me with electronic production, is I don't like templates. I don't like loading up a live set. Look like it's blank, but I also don't like. I like it when it's blank, but I don't like looking and there's like a predetermined workflow for me. So I really got into this thing, which is this drum and bass template, which is now just become every electronic template. And what I can do is I can load it in just like that to my plugin, to my session, and it spits out not this. It spits out this drum bus, and I've pre-done all my routing. So it made me write music a lot more efficiently, which I found helped my workflow.
Yeah, that's really important.
Just a busing thing. And I think the biggest thing is I could grab my entire bass track and very quickly just say my side chain is coming from kicks, my snares, because I've got multiple kicks running into a group and multiple snares running into just blank, and then pull out samples or MIDI or whatever. Yeah, the rock done, nice. That's cool. Yeah, like you said, it's tough to like show you stuff, but just like general kind of things that I help me along in production. That's some of them. That's maybe the interesting things about drums. On basses, I'm processing very straightforwardly. Isotope Trash, bros. Isotope Trash is a great plugin. I think I haven't really done much here, but this multi-band distortion circuit, because if you distort your highs, it sounds too shrill, but if you put a lot of distortion on your maybe your bass, but your mids, then you can get really like pleasing harmonic warmth from plugins. So another thing to think about when you're making tunes, I guess. Yeah,
So-
that's pretty much it, dudes.
Awesome, bro. Yeah, that's really cool. I agree with you on the workflow thing. I think a lot of guys talk about that. You know, for me, one of the things that I think is important is you've always got to be able to see what cycle you're in when it comes to music, because obviously you go through phases as a musician, and sometimes ideas are coming to you and you're throwing down 16 bar loops 4 times a day and you've got a lot of creativity coming out, and then other days that you need to grind in and actually get down to arrangement and stuff like that. And sometimes if you're sitting there with a pre-done sort of workflow template, then it kind of sometimes it will hinder the creative process if you're feeling like really creative. So sometimes I like to say one of my philosophies is literally starting from a blank template for the pure purpose of, first of all, the chances are that every single song then that I make might not sound similar to the other ones, which allows you to maybe find your sound, and eventually once you find your sound, then you can start to incorporate using templates and stuff. But always you want to go from like the blank template, like a blank canvas, to sound system. I think is a cool journey to capture as a musician. So being able to do that at the same time as realize that, hey, look, right, putting down ideas right now is not really bearing fruit. Maybe I should pull out a template so that I can get rid of those little micro decision elements and just maybe start getting into making some tracks. So yeah, it's a really important thing that you touched on there.
Yeah, definitely.
I need to be more disciplined with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I was just looking at mine now and I'm like, I don't want to talk about that part when I show my.
Well, on that note then, Dina, it's your turn to
Oh,
the man pulled out some big ones last stream, so I've no panics about this one, that's for sure.
Yeah, I actually really got into this one.
Awesome.
Nice
stuff there, Repo. That was awesome. Shocked my brain.
Thanks,
yeah, well
dude.
done, dude.
Especially, drum and bass producer coming through with the Techno. Gotta love it.
I could hear the drum and bass influence for sure.
Yeah.
I also obviously consider love bass, but also try to make a little here and there, and just definitely like I listen, like that's my gym music, drum and bass. So like you listen to it all the time, so you definitely hear the influence, but also at the same time, like you definitely have a lot of class, and you just hear your quality and stuff, even when you're out of your comfort zones.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Okay. Can you see? Okay, cool.
yeah.
Just so it should be fine. Okay, cool. So yeah, I was like, hard techno, 138 BPM. Okay, let's go. So
Send it.
yeah. So yeah, I guess we'll just listen first. Can you hear?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
What a journey! What a journey, my brother.
Super uplifting, right?
Amazing. How do you turn hard techno into something uplifting? This must be the first person in human history.
Yeah, so um yeah, the sample I used it like 2 different times. In the beginning, um over here, and I just distorted the shit out of it. That was that
I really like that sound.
sound, and then I just used it again down here for some rhythm. I like my little ticky kinks, you know,
Mm,
that
that's super cool.
um oh no,
You really.
shot. No, it's cool. But yeah, I mean, um, I yeah, I went with like a really rolly like bass line, just like a just a fat old E. Um, and then just put a ginormous double kick, because that's kind of what I always thought hard techno would be like. And then obviously for me, like I really love piano and pretty parts, so that middle bit was just that little piano piece. I really let you guys hear a lot, and then over here is actually like kind of towards the end. I was like what is the song missing, and I was like, in the beginning when I was trying to conceptualize, I was like, I feel like maybe making like a trance hard techno hybrid. I wasn't sure, but I was like, I just kind of thought that I wanted that kind of trancey influence in, so I just put this. It's like, I thought just like make it really uplifting and pretty, and then um just bring it back,
Yeah,
like
really nice.
bring it back to the dirt at the end, just
Yeah.
and then just go out with the message like, who are you, and um who am I also made that vocal myself with Reactor FX,
I was
with
gonna say,
the
did you?
Oh, that was power. Yeah.
Well,
yeah, it's the Reactor, I think it's called the Mouth.
Yeah, the mouth is a very, very, very powerful vocal plugin. I use it myself quite often.
Yeah, so I just did it in there, and yeah, I just try to make something like kind of minimal but like roly, and just have that kind of pretty influence in the middle.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was about to say it's very trancey, but also stimming. If it was like 25 BPM faster,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
it's very cool.
No, it's a typical track that you would make with the journey. It's not just like a collection of sounds. It's a collection of sounds in a way that actually is trying to tell something. Which has always been something you've been very strong at. So you stuck true to that part of your musicality, which was really cool.
Yeah. Always. So,
Awesome. Well, anything more unless you want to wrap it up on that one? Oh,
yeah.
amazing. Another big W. Everyone, to everyone in chat, thank you for being here, guys. I see all of you there. It's Imran, Tikati, Sophie, everyone else that's there. Yeah, thanks for joining, guys. And if you have just joined us, we are pretty much almost done with our Techno Challenge. We've just had an awesome 3 tracks from our esteemed guests. So yeah, it's been It's from my perspective. Yeah, I really appreciate that you guys have taken the time to do something that's part of something that I've been wanting to do, and taking time out of your days to come up with all these cool ideas. So I appreciate you guys for what you've done. I guess that means I should be sharing my one so that we can
Yeah. Hear it.
all right, okay, let's go. Okay, so for my one, just let me know when you guys are in.
Watching. And
Okay, PC a bit slow. Let it just recover a bit there. Yeah, so basically, yeah, where I took my inspiration for this track is there's a festival that I went to in Amsterdam called Solar Weekend, and there was a hard techno vibe like this kind of track, which for me was the first time I'd heard it, and I guess it's a little bit ravey, um, and yeah, it's just something that, yeah, I don't know, like for me, my experience of hard techno in Europe has been tracks like this. So,
Awesome.
yeah, so it's pretty. It's only so what I've done is I've only made it a 2 minute 45 track, because obviously when I was listening to the set from this particular guy at the festival, he was mixing tracks in every 3 minutes, literally just track after track after track. You know, it's a drop, and it's always changing, constantly changing. So that's the kind of vibe that I wanted to go for, is that you actually don't know what's coming next. It's a little bit messy.
Yeah.
And obviously now that you guys have made your like or played your tracks, it's kind of hard going last in a producer challenge, because you're like, whoa, these guys like win mad. But hey, we'll just give it
Sure you did
give it a
great.
bash. Yeah, let's see if this works.
Continued use of marijuana causes psychic and physiological changes in its body. In time, the continued use of marijuana causes psychic In time, the continued use of marijuana causes psychic and physiological changes in its body.
Sick, dude.
That kick
Love
was
it.
basically like an entire planet crashing into another planet.
Like a
Yeah, I wouldn't say. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a lot of distortion and stuff in this track. Wouldn't be too kind to many speakers, but yeah, whatever.
That was awesome. I loved it. It was so fun, dude.
Yeah, so basically, in terms of the sample, I didn't do too much. Just yeah, basically took a small, small part of it on loop and fed it through and started working a bit of MIDI on it. So it's like kind of like an easy feel, but it's still, you know.
Yeah.
yeah, so basically that, and then on the kick, was obviously the hero of the track in a lot of ways. What I did was I basically created the kick in this Ana 2 synth. I mean the Kick 2 synth, which is basically a really cool kick. It's a cool kick generator. You can set the frequencies and stuff like that, and really come up with your own kicks, which is quite cool. It's quite a nice plugin, and it's cheap as well. So obviously the kick.
Good God.
Yeah, so obviously I've just thrown a bit of drum bass on there with the 20% drive, a lot of boom, and then just pulled drive. Yeah, lots of boom, obviously. Yeah, and then on the effects side, I've just put it through a couple of different. I'll put it through the Decapitator, which is a good saturator for bass, same with the Devil Lock. Just like up the bass and stuff. Really, just brought in the distortion. And then so basically after that was working on this sound, which I think led a lot of the track. It's quite ravey, quite sort of. I've done quite a few bit of automations, and I've tried to let it speak to this other sound here. So these two often will speak to each other in the delays. So when one's being delayed, the other one has the delay on 0, on the wet on 0. So try and have those two sounds speaking to each other. So just a small example, you can hear how these two play together.
Very cool.
So it's often something I like to do in my tracks.
Nice.
So, and then basically, obviously just a vocal sample, didn't really do too much to that. One thing I really enjoy is if you've really got a hard distorted kick, you resample the kick with a bit of the, try and get some of the tail, and then whenever you want to transition, you just resample one kick, let it reverse that sample, and you get these little thwap sounds that really pumps. So that's something that's it's quite cool, just to actually take a kick, especially if you want to bring a kick back in. You do a distorted version of it, and then it's sort of let's just give you a little example. Where would it? Say, baby, yeah. Bit of PC, obviously my CPU is going through the roof here, so it's a little bit crackly, but yeah. And then obviously just really what I did is I resampled a lot of the tracks. So resampling at the moment is one of my favorite things that I do, where just take parts of the song, resample it into audio, and then do weird things with it. And then I just created a lot of weird fills as well, panning them left to right. And then also some similar to this one. Obviously quite a them have got quite a lot of different processing on them. So there's that, and then so then I guess the last thing that I wanted to show you guys is a cool trick that you might want to, I don't know if you guys use it before or not, but what you can do is if you ever want to use foley, found sounds in your track, basically what you do is you find a foley that's got quite a really sort of a general sound to it. Just gonna take off the so what you do is you bring in a found sound that obviously this was just the sound of a tin hitting a side of something, and then you set it to this preserve the transient setting, put it onto this setting over here. Then what you can do is you obviously and you can pull it up and down if you wanted to. Then only play the the sort of transits on the hit, and then you can basically create custom percussions just out of a found sound. But ultimately, what I do is I've put a gate on it. So this is where it gets a bit more advanced. Is I've got this other sound, which is just a standard loop for a percussive hit or a shaker. It never actually plays in the track. I've just got it. I've got it sort of disabled. But what happens is that this foley only plays based on the settings of the gate. So this gate is now sidechained to this specific sound. So it keeps in with the same rhythm that a normal shaker would have, except yeah. So basically it has something like this. I don't actually want it to play.
Oh wow.
Oh, typical.
See, it's this isn't actually ever playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah, so it's a cool way, instead of if you want to have weird sounds like that, be able to still keep some sort of rhythmic pattern. Then you just sort of create this gate, and then obviously mess around with the settings to a point where for instance, you can see that it's only picking up only once that this shaker sound is within that band. Once it reaches there, then the sound starts playing.
Gotcha.
So you can, it's a pretty cool thing to do in your tracks. Yeah, other than that, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no, sorry about that. Yeah, that's my track. Yeah. So.
Nice, dude. I like those vocals as well.
Yeah, good old splice, hey.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's got that festival energy to it.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, guys, that is the end of what I think has been a really dope session. Thank you for
Challenge.
Yeah, that was a challenging challenge for sure. Definitely out of our comfort zones.
You're muted, Ruples. Say no, dude.
Yeah, maybe I lost a soldier over there.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for having us on again, bro.
Yeah, guys, that was awesome.
Fun.
As always, thank you for your time. Thank you for taking time out of your days to.
And for the next one,
Yes.
can we maybe choose our own genre?
Yeah, 100%. So if you want to take the flame on this one, Dino, you can pick the sample and the genre.
Okay. So I just pick the genre for us, or do we wanna? Well, I'll do the sample, but then you guys get to pick your own genre, or we all do the same genre.
Yeah. I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's something. I mean, we've done the same style now of having a sample and then randomly generated genre for all of us. So it'll be good for us to switch up on the next one. You know.
All right, dope. Yeah, I think it'll be cool because then.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. So we'll hopefully have within another month. Hopefully we can all get together.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, we've maybe got another team member, another soldier, part of the crew. It'd be quite cool to keep growing this. And if you guys know any people that are keen on doing something like this, let's just grow it. I mean,
Good. More the merrier.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So thanks again, Ed.
Yeah.
Well done, Scotty.
Yeah.
Aiden and Ruples. All really awesome music, guys. Well done.
Yeah. Well done, boys.
All round.
Yeah, definitely.
All round.
All round good job.
So,
Sweet, boys. Well, I'm gonna close off the stream. Yeah, I'll check you guys on the flip side. Much love always. Thanks for joining me.
later.
Thanks again, bro.
Oh wait. Cool. Cheers, guys.
Peace.
Yo, dudes, chat. what's up? Hey Brian, thanks for those kind words, bro. That's very nice of you to say. I think everyone did a good job this round. Not easy making hard techno for sure. It's way out of our comfort zone. And I think the one thing about comfort zone is really it's a two-sided sword. You know, if you're out of your comfort zone, it can cause a lot of doubt. You know, because it basically makes you question your ability to do something. But obviously, depending on how you look at it, you can switch that over and say, you know, if instead of looking at it as self-doubt, you can maybe take it as humility, and realize that the more you know, the less you know sometimes, and really just being humble about the fact that none of us really know as much as we think we know. And it's good to push yourself into out of your comfort zone and keep yourself in check in that way, because if you stay in your comfort zone, you might actually create a false sense of security and think that you're really good at something, when meanwhile you don't actually know jack shit. So you know, you've got to, like you say, everyone, exactly, learn from your mistakes. Don't quit though, and don't let self-doubt become a thing that stops you then from exploring new things. Rather be curious, rather be humble, and you know, that's always gonna, you know, it's always gonna lead to you know, it's gonna lead to better things in life, you know. But yeah, it's really cool. I'm really glad we managed to get another session in once a month. Generally the plan for 4 producers, 1 sample. I think it's cool getting people together and just doing things that you're not really normally used to doing. And you know, I think there's a lot of exciting stuff on the horizon. For me personally, it's been a massive month. You know, so 24th of April, save the date. Can't give away too much info yet, but yeah, basically managed to sign my first 2 tracks to a label, and yeah, those are going to be coming out the 24th of April, which is really cool. Really excited for that. You know, it's, yeah, that's been a really crazy month for me to experience, you know, being able to release a track, and I couldn't do it without all the guys around me and all the people around me that, you know, support my music and stuff even before it's released. You know, that's really the most important thing, is, you know, like having people around that elevate you and keep you inspired to keep making, and help you realize that you are good enough to do things, and you are good enough to be the best. And you know, without those people around you, it's going to be really hard to continue and stick at it as you go along in life, you know, especially once you get to a point where you start working at a professional level. You need to remember those people. Yeah, Iberan, yeah, you missed some good shit, but bro, the stream will be yeah, obviously the stream will be up again for rewatch afterwards, so there's always an opportunity for you to check that out. Yeah. Yeah, overall it was a good stream. It was really cool to see what guys, it's always really like interesting to see what people come up with, and everyone sort of exceeds expectations of what you thought they might do. It's really cool. Yeah. For those of you guys who haven't seen, obviously some time for a bit of self-advertisement here. If you guys haven't checked my latest mix, I'm just going to drop a link in the chat. A little bit of a melodic 50-minute mix, some really cool tunes in there that I'll be listening to recently. Ibran, I'll export, I'll bounce out an MP3 or whatever recording of that the track for you if you want. Just for when you finish your exam, or just before you're about to go into your test, bro. You can just smash that on 2.5 minutes before you walk in, and I'll get you hyped. Ibran, it's not on my sound. Like I don't, yeah, like my SoundCloud is mostly mixes and a couple unreleased, but I'll send you a link. Just remind me, I'll send you a link after this. I'll bounce everything out and we can take it from there. Take it see, massive W to you, bro. Shot for pulling through, you and Sos. Glad you could join us for a change on the stream. It's nice. Maybe I should continue streaming on a Tuesday. Taste hype. Yeah, Scotty, you're the hype man, bro. Maybe what we should get into the habit of doing is, sending recordings of all the tracks that we do on these things and creating a little playlist on SoundCloud of what everyone made. So actually, I'm gonna do that now. We're just gonna, I'll start a little playlist on SoundCloud of all the creations that we've made from our 4 producers, 1 sample. It'll just be cool to look back on them one day. It's a great idea, actually. And yeah, chat, when it comes closer to the time, I have to ask all you guys in chat here to do me a huge favor. Once my track gets released, I'm gonna need you guys to do a bit of spam on the record label's Facebook page and Instagram for me. Just show a bit of love there. Got to prove to them that I've got a family of music lovers around me. So it'd be good to have your guys' support when that comes through. Alrighty dudes, well I'm gonna hit it. Thank you to everyone who joined the stream today. Thank you to our special guest Reeples. I think we lost him at the end there. But yeah, thank you for joining us, bro. We really appreciate it and appreciate your time, and hopefully you'll be back for the next one. Obviously to Dino and Scotty, as always, you guys are awesome. Very lucky to have music friends like you for so many years. So thanks for being the usual suspects, and obviously we'll see you at the very next one. Dean's up on the spotlight for the next sample challenge, and then of course to everyone who popped into streams, take it to Ebrand, Sophie, guys, really I appreciate you guys pulling through so much. Yeah, it just makes my day, and hopefully I can make your guys' day a little bit better. Doing something like this just is a nice way to end the day sometimes and help you reset and turn off even if you had a rough day. So I appreciate having you guys around to be able to just hang out at the end of the day. So much love to you all. Keep it real, be humble, but stay curious. Peace guys, see you guys soon. Thanks for pulling through.